In this lesson, we're going to talk about Qt Designer. So we have already created our simple GUI applications using PyQt, and we have written our all codes. Now, if you have a simple application, then there will be no problem. We can write our all codes. But if we have a complex and big applications or software, then it will be cumbersome to write all codes. Now, it would be good that we design our for example, our application in a designer, and after that we can use that design. Luckily, in PyQt, we have something that's called Qt Designer. Now, using Qt Designer, we can design our main application, and after that we can convert our Qt Designer file, or we can just load our that file into our Python code. Now, by default, we don't have Qt Designer in PyQt. For that, we need to install another library that's called PyQt6 Tools. Now, using PyQt tools, we can access to Qt Designer. Now, as I've already said, that by default, when we are installing PyQt, there is no Qt Designer. Now, if you're using PyQt6 as we are using, you need to just use this command, pip install PyQt6 tools. And if you're using PyQt5, then you need to install this version. So because we're using PyQt6, then I can just grab this, copy this, and after that I'm going to open my terminal in PyCharm ID, and in here I can paste this. Now I'm waiting for the installation. So now our PyQt tools has been installed. Now let's check this. We can just open our virtual environment, and in the lib we can just so you can see that we have PyQt6 tools, and you can see that we have Qt6 applications, and in here we can just click on that, and after that we can just click on Qt, after that bin. Now in here you can see that we have designer.exe. Now let me just open this in the terminal. So open in Explorer, not terminal. So we can just open bin folder. Now you can see that we have designer in here. Let's just open this, and now you can see that this is our designer, and you can use this designer to create your application. So we can just use dialog with button, dialog with button right. So you can see we have buttons on the right. So these are some templates, built-in templates that we can use. Dialog without button, the main window we can create. So we're going to just choose widget. So I can just click on create. So now you can see that this is our design in here. And here we have our widget box. From here there are different widgets that you can use. For example, we have layouts, we have a push button, tool button. We will talk about these widgets in the later part of the course, but for right now you can see that we have our simple GUI window, and this is a widget based class window. From here, if you see, if I make it like this, you can see that you can set the geometry of the window, and there are different options that you can use. For example, you can change the font size, or you can give by the color of the window, and in here you can see that we have window title. For example, let me change this to Qt Designer example, and you can see that this has changed. You can give the tooltip for the window, and there are different options that you can use, but we will work on these options. But right now we have our just simple GUI window using Qt Designer, and from here you can just where is it? Yeah, from the form we can just preview this, and you can see that we have our GUI window in here.